As I walk these fashionable Manhattan streets, the sight and sounds of Agra beckon me. As I work with minimal design on my AutoCAD, I'm haunted by the intricacies that made life timeless, beyond the whims of fashion changes. As I sip my morning's coffee, I'm reminded of the endearing sound of my name in my Khala's voice.
Faizan? Faizan?
I'm happy, but consumed by something tugging at my heartstrings. I can't explain. I want to share it with Lizzie, but words won't do justice to these feelings. All I know is that she's passionate about anything done with hands and has seen it all. But adding emotion of a different kind can happen only in flesh and blood. My minimalistic world of design was about clear and clean lines. And this alien object stood from a different land, another era. Yet there was something about this extremely quaint, sensuous piece that drew me to it at the end of each day. This little box was a hearkening to those times and to my Khala,
Faizan?
whose love was like rock salt on the sweet and sour kairi of summers.
Pilo, Faizan.
When I was leaving for Manhattan, my Khala called me into her room one evening. She had prepared a little potli of things for me to take. Aam ka achar, a special ointment for my headache, an assortment of sweetmeats that she had prepared, and this beautiful box, which she placed in my palm and said, "Ye unki taraf se pehla tohfa tha." Of course I could ask no more, and said, "Ab hame kyun di ja rahi hai itni कीमती यादगार?"
मेरी जान, क्योंकि आप डिज़ाइन सीखने जा रहे हैं तो इसकी बारीकी से भी कुछ सीखिएगा। नक्काशी कुछ ऐसी ही होनी चाहिए या फिर इससे भी कुछ बेहतर बनाने की कोशिश करिएगा।
Nostalgia flooded over. So badly wanted to be back in that old house with its mirrored memories with Khala. But this will be different. Very different. I am taking someone with whom I propose to share my future, to share my past, my culture, Lizzie. The towering red sandstone gates ushered us into the ornate orb of Itmad-ud-Dawla. Here lies Mirza Ghayas Beg or Itmad-ud-Dawla and his wife Asmat Begum, built by their daughter and Emperor Jahangir's wife Noor Jahan. The aesthetic finesse shows but a daughter's immense love for her father, from his geometric symmetry and the pedestal it was built on, to the exquisite lattice work of the screens. And the first example of beautiful stone inlay work sourced the precious stones. The tomb was a cocoon of craft and paved the way for the teardrop on the cheek, the Taj.
जो जलवा है यार है, जो जलवा है यार है, वो दिल यही तो है। जो जलवा है यार है, वो दिल यही तो है। हम जिस जगह है हुस्न की, हम जिस जगह है हुस्न की, मंजिल यही तो है। जो जलवा है यार है।
The fort of Agra built by Emperor Akbar and his successors is one of the finest examples of carving in sandstone, exemplifying its secular history and the exquisite integration of the Hindu idiom in Mughal architecture.
खुद को न देखना है तुझे, देखने की शर्त जो दरमियां ही जा।
Emperor Shah Jahan, imprisoned here by his son Aurangzeb, looked longingly at the beauty he had created on the banks of the sacred river, the river he loved so much, in the memory of his beloved wife, TAJ Mahal. And this exquisite craft, inspired by these magnificent monuments, still lives for a variety of architectural and decorative uses. A piece of Makrana marble is shaped into a circle. It is colored with red oxide. The design is imprinted upon it. The kaleidoscope palette is of precious stones: lapis lazuli, coral, green malachite, blue sapphire. The design is then chiseled with implements such as this, while the gems are shaped as per the design by sheer artistry and skill handed down from one generation to another. The stones are then placed, resized, to perfectly fit the chisel marble, but often the lathe scars the artisan's hand. The stones are now placed and stuck with an age-old adhesive. The red oxide removed and polished. Ascending the steps to the Buland Darwaza, the triumphal arch, and the tallest gateway in the world, at Fatehpur Sikri, the fort city built by Emperor Akbar to commemorate his victory. Inspiration of all craft has always been spiritual. The saint's presence holds a never-ending fountain of inspiration for the craftsman and is the soul of his craft. The pearly white mazar of Sheikh Salimuddin Chishti entices. The tomb is exquisitely carved and inlaid with mother of pearl, while the profuse naqshkari is intricacy itself. The honeycomb shadows of the lattice corridors envelope us in their cool shade, and we feel blessed, just as Akbar must have felt on the birth of his son. He named the boy Salim after the Piran and built this magnificent shrine to the saint. Time has not denuded the calligraphy inscribed by Amanat Khan in 1574. Every decade that has passed has added to the intricate poignance and the intrinsic luster, the luster of truth. And presented in this monumental scale, these products offer endless opportunities for contemporary use. Inspire designers to reinvent them. Looking at the ornamental Pacchikari pieces in the shop, I just had to get something special for Khala, something designed by me, especially for her. I couldn't wait to see Khala's face and drove to the koti early morning. The grey dawn seemed to embrace the stately old koti, and a mist of memories encircled me as I stepped in. Up the old staircase, into the heart of the house where elegant corridors led to the people who peopled my heart.
बेटा, मेरे लाल,
आपके लायक कुछ डिज़ाइन कर पाया क्या खालिदान?
बेहद ही खूबसूरत पच्चीकारी है, बेहद नफीस। वाह, ये लो, अब ये तुम्हारी अमानत है।
I go back with the resolve to return, with Lizzie, with new ideas for this newly discovered craft. Strolling through the streets of Agra, I love so much, with the one I love as much, was so memorable.
Pacchikari